Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today I have 9 tips for you on how to make your eyes bigger and brighter and how to make them pop. If you are new to my channel, my name is Lisa and I'm a former makeup artist and MAC Cosmetics trainer. I love teaching makeup, that is my passion, and I love to teach it in an easy, digestible way. So you will find very practical tips in my videos here on my channel, so please subscribe if you are into that. Okay, let's get started. So the first tip is to choose an eyeshadow primer that has a brightening effect. So I always use an eyeshadow primer before I apply my makeup, but when I'm trying to make my eyes really big and pop and just really wide open, I choose a primer that has a brightening effect. And my favorite at the moment is the Trish McEvoy Eye Base Essentials, and I like the shade Bare. This is an exceptional eyeshadow primer. It does a great job of just creating an even canvas on the eyes, giving the eyeshadow something to adhere to. So it's not only going to keep your eyeshadow on all day, but it is going to like intensify the color of the shadow. It is kind of like a neutral shade, but it's definitely a lot lighter than my skin tone. So I like to apply this from the lash line up to the brow. Keyword there, up to the brow. That's really want to make sure you apply that primer so that it really lifts the brow, gives a little bit of highlight under the brow. You could also use a kind of satin eyeshadow to give that effect, but I think giving it with a primer is a really nice and natural and subtle way. And of course, you can always layer a shadow on top of it, extra added lift. Okay, so tip number 2 is actually a mistake I see a lot. So go in with your first transition shade with a shade that is not too dark. If you go in with too dark of a shade, it's just going to weigh the eyes down and drag them down. So you want to choose a shade that is matte and that is a few shades darker than your natural skin tone, but not too dark. Now, also the way that you apply this is super, super important. So I see a lot of times people in mirrors and they are like really like concentrating on getting it right there in their crease, and they're so concerned with getting it perfectly in their crease. Well, then they open their eyes, and when they're having a conversation and looking at someone, that color kind of disappears. You really want to look straight into a mirror and you want to place your brush into the crease, but you want to choose a brush that has a tapered tip. So what that means is basically it's longest at the tip and then it kind of tapers and is shorter on the outsides of the brush. What that is going to do is it's going to allow you to apply that color in the crease but blend it and diffuse it up. So that way when you're talking to people, you can see that color and that diffusion of color above the crease, and that's really what is going to lift the crease. But again, you want to avoid too dark and too heavy shades. Not to say you can't go in with that dark shade, you just want to lay that foundation first with a shade that's just a couple of shades darker, and then you can always go in and deepen it later. But that'll give a really nice lifted airbrush effect. Another tip, and this is like my favorite style of makeup, and this is exactly why I wear my eye makeup like this all the time, is to apply a much lighter shade on the lid. Like you want there to be such a contrast between that lid color and that crease color, especially when you're working in the inner corner. You really want that to be bright. If you are comfortable using shimmer shadows or metallic shadows, that's even a bonus. Obviously, not all of us love to wear shimmer on our eyes if we're dealing with more texture on the lids, but you can choose shadows that have a satin finish. So these are shimmers that are less glittery, less sparkly, but they still have that really beautiful sheen. And the reason that having some level of sheen is nice is because that's what reflects light. That's what really bounces light off when it hits your eye. So it creates this illusion of, you know, just having more lid space. The lid is protruding and the crease is receding. And that's what gives more, you know, definition to the eye, makes the eye look more awake and more open. But the key really there is to make sure that there is a difference in color or a difference in depth between your lid and your crease. If you use shades that are, you know, kind of all blend together or about the same tone, I mean, it's not that that's wrong. It's just your eyes are going to look bigger and more open if you are, you know, using light and deeper. Of course, some of us have, you know, very large eyes already, and maybe that's something we like to play down, or maybe we don't need to do all these tips and tricks because our eyes look, you know, bright and open and big without them. But if you are dealing with smaller eyes or more hooded eyes and you want to make them larger, this is a great tip. Okay, so the next tip is a really fun way on wearing color, and that is to deepen your outer corner, and the key word is outer corner, not crease, and choose a shade that is complementary to your eye color. And you can find that by looking on a color wheel. A complementary color is basically two colors opposite each other on the color wheel. I actually did a couple of videos on these. I will link them down below. But basically you want to take your eye color. My eye color is green. The complementary color to green would be red, but you know, any kind of colors that have red in there. I love purple. Purple is very complementary and beautiful to green eyes. So I chose a color that is matte, it's deep and rich, and it has a lot of plum to it. And I really want to stress that you want to keep that just in the outer corner. Apply it with a tiny little brush that gives you precision, and then blend it out with a crease blush. But you want to avoid kind of going all over the crease back and forth, because again, then we're dealing with, you know, what I told you guys in tip number, what was it, 2? Where you don't want to use something too dark that's going to weigh the eye down. So you want to basically keep that separation of your crease color, your outer corner color, and your lid color. So tip number 5 is eyeliner and where you place that eyeliner. Now, if you really want to create the illusion of like really big, open, bright eyes, I say avoid a heavy, thick liner on your actual lid. I know I do this a lot. I wear a liquid eyeliner pen and I create a winged look a lot, but you can really get a like full lash line by using a mascara and by tightlining your eyes. So tightlining is basically applying eyeliner right here in the waterline. So not on the actual eyelid, but under your lashes. And I would recommend using something very deep and rich, and using something that is has a lot of pigment. So you don't have to layer it and layer it and layer it, because obviously that's not a comfortable place to line the eyes. I love the Fenty Fly pencils. It's probably my favorite pencil at the moment for eyes, and I like the shade Cause I'm Black because it's just so rich and black, and I will really layer and line that waterline. Then also the next tip is to line the waterline on the lower lash line with a brighter pencil. I love the Mario eye brightening pencil. You want to find something that is creamy. You want to avoid ones that are too white. So you either want it to have a tinge of pink to it or a tinge of yellow. That it will help brighten the eyes. It'll basically, if you're tired or your eyes are red or you're not feeling well or feeling under the weather, doing that is really going to brighten the eyes and make the eyes look wide awake. So number 7 is also a liner trick, and that is to avoid heavy liner on the lower lash line. So stay away from the liquid liners on the lower lash line. If you use a pencil, find something that's creamy that you can soften and smoke out with a brush. In this video, I'm actually showing you just using eyeshadow, and I'm basically just mixing the two shadows that I used in my crease and my outer corner. And you want to apply it starting at the outer corner and working your way about halfway over. The further that you bring it inward, it's just going to make your eye look a little smaller. So I would avoid taking it all the way to the inner corner and really stop right about in the middle where your pupil, the middle of your pupil is. That is how you're going to get more of a rounded, open eye. Number 8 is easy and an obvious one, and that is to curl your eyelashes. Just having that extra lift and curl really does, make the eyes look larger. I'm using the Lily Lash Curler. This is the first time that I used it. I actually bought it yesterday, so I liked it. I think it did a good job. But yeah, definitely use a lash curler. So the last tip number 9, is to use a lash primer and a mega mascara. So when I say mega mascara, I'm talking about mascara that gives really dramatic results. So that's a lengthening mascara combined with a volumizing mascara, and one that is going to help lift and curl your lashes. So today I was using I will have all the products, by the way, listed in the description box, but today I used the Man Eater by Tarte. I like this one a lot. I will list some of my other favorite mascaras. The Lancome Lash Idol is a great option too. That'll really keep the lashes lifted. The Tarte is a little bit more volumizing than the Lancome, but the Lancome is great about giving volume but keeping really separated. So I will link both of those below, but you definitely don't want to skip lash primer, and you want to get those lashes just as long and as thick and as lifted as possible. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you learned anything from this video, if you picked up one of these tips that you weren't aware of, or you didn't realize like, oh yeah, that does make sense. It does make the eyes bigger. Let me know down below. I love hearing what you guys are trying at home and what's working for you. If you have tips to share, please let us know in the comment section below. I have learned so much from you guys, including some product recommendations. So I think it's just a fun place to connect and build community in the comments. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're not subscribed and you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and join our little family. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.